Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it was just back with a level match. MML Blitz, again, Season 9, but this time, the Europe Division. And yes, it's the Hamelin Renegades, the defending Blitz champions, a chaotic team, chaotic player pack team, rather, versus the Necropolyse Nacaleptics, who are a, Afterlife United, sorry. Basically, this is Blood Bowl. If you're not familiar with the mixed leagues, that's what these are. These are certain races that are banded together, all to form one like super coalition or whatever, and then they play against each other. So you're going to see some amazing things. Men play Rat Ogres, and Storm Vermin, and some Dark Elves in there, some Dark Elf Assassins in there. You're going to see it all. So I'm looking forward to the action here. As we said, we've got the current Blitz reigning champions, the Hamelin Renegades, and as the ball is kicked off, the weather is nice. It's nice. And hold on, just to make sure I got that right. It was snowing when we first got here. Sorry, I just backed that up, and you can see I have the ability with the Cabal Crystal Ball. I can back up the action as needed, or forward as needed, but I want you guys to catch every little bit of action. I'll even do some freaking replays if I need to when shit gets hot. So the ball's kicked off as the ball goes and rises up into the crowd, disappears in all of the snow. All of a sudden the sun comes out, melts the snow, and the little droplets stop falling, and now you can see the upper echelons of this majestic stadium, and the ball fall down, and the nice green grass, I believe this is elf turf, maybe? Looking at elf turf is a thing. Looking at who has the fan advantage, it looks like the fans are out stronger here in droves for the reigning champions. Not for the reigning champions, they're out, wait, no, it's for the Renegades. Oh, and right off the bat, Kiss Me Quick gets taken out. That's a zombie. Tomb Guardian, rather. Wow, that's gonna hurt. Because of the negative effect of when he does a regen of decay, you got to take the worst of those two rolls, and so that's a permanent injury on him. Again, so it looks like the reigning champions have the crowd on their side, making them more likely to enjoy benefits of certain events that happen on the field. All right, so that's huge. The Renegades start by taking out one of the Tomb Guardians for the Nacaleptics, and losing that kind of strength is... Wait, did he? No, he didn't reach. Losing that strength is critical. He's going to be missing... he's going to have a broken neck, which is going to have... less agile, which actually that doesn't really bother him very much. So he might miss the game. I'm sure they fixed the glitch that if you didn't actually suffer down because you were already at the minimum stat, or not that transit damage. In the past, it is not. So it would be treated like badly hurt, and he'd be back next game. We'll see. I don't know what the I don't know if that was unglitched at some point. I don't remember because it's never affected me. And here comes Blackford Headpaw, one of the two werewolves on this team. Of course, he's not the guy everyone thinks of it. Oh, he hits Timmy Timmers, the guard beastman, and now he's joined at the replay, saying, "Snap, bro, come at me, bro." He ain't worried, but the guy that everybody's really got to worry about is the Blitz scorer right now. That's Louis Michaels, the captain of this team, a relative of the late Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest players ever to play in the MML Pros, and the Renegades trying to adjust, putting that ball out of reach so it doesn't get got, and here comes the fearsome Storm Vermin. I'm having trouble reading that name. Leak Venom. There we go. Leak Venom unable to do some damage, but not so for the Rat Ogre. That's Head Splitter. Head Splitter is a monster. No joke, that dude. Like, very strong Rat Ogre, very agile for a Rat Ogre. He can block And he can guard, and he does all the things that you want to see them doing. So, I'm sorry. So again, because we have the luxury of backing stuff up, did he actually take a swipe here? Look at the beginning of that last turn. So you had Blackford Deadpaw matched up with the Reaper, and that's they moved everybody into position here. And I got carried away with talking, so we're just rewinding just to make sure that I saw thing that, you know, VpowerV is a pro, so I would imagine that he would take, the first thing he does is try to stab, because if that fails, there's no penalty to it. So now he knows where he stands with that. Okay, the only danger you're running when you leave that like that, though, if you don't have like a way to prevent, if you don't put somebody like here, which he's kind of missing now when Leak Venom is unable to make that hit. The issue then becomes that this wolf could end up pushing him to the sideline for a potential surf on the next turn, except that doesn't look like there are that many players over here from the Nacaleptics that could have the speed to capitalize on it. So that is an issue on its own. Yeah. All right, so he's coming in there with the Strength 4 Wolf. He's going to get a shot on the Assassin in a second. But first, coming for you, gets floored by Grand Eternity. Ram Disease is going to hit Head Splitter, but Head Splitter is a tough cookie, and it doesn't crumble easily. They're going to guard him up, wrap some players around him. Eddie Rod's going to get in his face. They're going to cause problems for the blocks. And this time, Blackford Deadpaw able to knock the Reaper to the ground, but not able to knock him out. And he's leaving Deadpaw in contact with the fearsome Leak Venom, who didn't do much damage on his last strike. But you keep giving this guy opportunities. His fearsome claws and his ability to hit with mighty blows could be a factor here. Now you're going to see Louis Michaels roll up and become the threat that he is. This werewolf is gutter runner fast, and he can get the job done. So you're going to see the Renegades move up Old Rat Creep. They're the very fast gutter runner who's still faster than Louis Michaels because he's faster than your average gutter runner. Old Rat Creep is. And now Head Splitter's going to get back in on the action. The first block doesn't put Dead Eyes Davies down, but the second one does. And now the cage is going to get set up. There's a little pushback, a little pushy push action, and a failed dodge. Is this a crucial 67%? Does he need to make this? Some would argue he kind of does. But there is enough guard in the equation. Oh, and Head Splitter is knocked out by Eddie Raw. That is a huge blow to the Renegades. This potentially definitely opens up a hit on the attempt on the ball carrier. The question is going to be, however, are they ready to take that? Can they get a 1-die or a 2-die on it? And they can definitely get a 2-die on it because Brett Sands gets in there, tries to make things happen, but Old Rat Creep is just too slick. He's too nimble and he can't get pinned down with the block. He kind of dances around it. Even the extra training they did this week for the Nacaleptics was not enough. Block is withstood. Oh, and this is where Leak Venom is dangerous. He's unable to knock Brett Sands down, but he's a juggernaut, so he's able to put Tomb Guardian back away. Tomb Guardian is not used to being pushed. And we're going to drop back to the cage. This is interesting here. VpowerV really just relying on Blodge to do its thing. That to me is dangerous. This time, despite taking a shot on the ball, do not. So now Slip and Rami, do not re-roll it this time. Slip and Rami, and that's because he knows he's going to get another block on it, another 2-die from the zombie. Now let the zombie go, and finally Slackjaw gets the job done and injures Old Rat Creep. That's big. Old Rat Creep badly hurt. Carry is able to snap whatever back in play, and Rat Creep walks it off but heads to the sideline. This could cause a big problem if Louis Michaels could get his shit together, and he is unable to, choking under pressure. This gives the Renegades the chance to pick that ball up. So far, this has been good coaching by Overkill. Really great, actually. Just keeping the champion on his back foot. VpowerV is usually controlling the matches. You don't see him so reactive, and that's because you know, definitely the Nacaleptics have set themselves up for success here in a way that just keeps the pressure on, of course, at risk. And it's not often you get Louis Michaels down on the floor in this position where you know, he's prone and he's potentially in trouble. You got to wonder, is there going to be a foul coming? If there was, I'm imagining it has to be with that guy. And that's who it is. Frizz Ward dodging away from the Tomb Guardians. He's going to take a stomp on Louis Michaels, and it's going to break armor. The captain is stunned. He's on the ground. He's snarling and barking, but he doesn't know where he is. And now, the Tomb Guardians, Grand Eternity almost shits the bed there with Dan Dannerson, or whatever, Dan Danners, that's right. I actually looked at that beast, man, possibly recruiting him after the draft. It looks like the Renegades and I have similar types of tastes in recruiting players, except we don't really go for assassins. There's the Ramses. He's not going to be like his colleague over there and not make the block that he's looking for. You know, I'm wondering why. I guess because there's no reroll, and is that 2 double skulls in the same turn? It's got to be a little frustrating to Overkill there. Again, having coached very well so far, I don't really like leaving this ghoul right there, slipping raw meat in the vicinity of Dead Eyes Davies, who's looking at that ghoul like he's ready to break him. And now that Louis Michaels is gone, it's looking like Blackfur Deadpaw may be the new target here for the Renegades, who are... Oh, more double skulls! This is insane. However, the extra training the Leak Phantom did this week pays off on the heavy bag, and he's not able to connect it first and almost but he kills Deadpaw, and Deadpaw somehow regenerates that key necromantic save right there. The regeneration is big, and Louis Michaels now is going to get stopped. Man, this is a hate campaign against these wolves. And the Nacaleptics is trying to backpedal a little bit here and see if they can stop the onslaught or stop the score. That's kind of that's. I'd be worried. So this is an interesting choice here. It looks like the Nacaleptics thinking, I'm just going to get somebody back in time to really stop that score. If I get a couple of players back, there's a failed dodge. It's huge. Huge. If they're thinking, if I got somebody back to try to stop it, he would just run this claw palm or this mighty blow claw leak venom over there, hit that one, knock him out of the game, and then I'm without him. So I think this is Overkill trying to cut his losses. Say, you're gonna have that score, but I'm gonna have shots at the rest of your team for the rest of this half, and I'll come back and get the ball back. Ooh. So Slippin' Raw Meat is cut by the assassin. Failed dodge at end, and Frizz Wizard hurts himself. Now we're gonna see the Nacaleptics again. What's good, Burzo? Yeah. Hey, now you have definitely earned the right to sit back and watch a game stress-free at this point, and not have to worry about dice or anything like that. And here comes the boom. The Reaper has finally drawn the attention of Grand Eternity, who comes over there, knocks it to the ground. But even his mighty blow is not enough to pierce that that armor 8. Look how close that was. Yeah, that was good. If he did not have the reinforced cloak that the Reaper has, he would have been, his armor would have been broken on that. And actually, what's the next rule? It's quite likely he would have been either KO'd or or outright removed, badly hurt, or potentially badly hurt, but outright removed. The Reaper then, here comes the stomp. He's gonna go out with broken ribs. No Apo left to save him. No more Assassin's Blade. That was starting to annoy the Nacaleptics, and they're just going to take advantage of it. Look at that beautiful level 4 stadium. That's what you enjoy when you're a champion. And to go back and see who scored that TD. What was the name of that rat Lino that scored that TD? But he takes the ball before he crosses the end zone, runs across the end zone, showing it off in the direction of the Nacaleptics, showing it off to the crowd, and then crosses the threshold of the end zone and takes his place with the touchdown. I'm just rewinding. Oh, okay, so that was this special guy right here.
I imagine that in their dreams, at least, winning this match. Small of the teams are where it is to score, to find replacements.
Possession is the key to winning. You must drive the coach crazy, as his team has just kicked it away.
Sometimes the underdog wins the fight.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
Did you see the pass? You sometimes miss the spot.
Chance to just, take their own hits. You can't really pin it down. How did that player get injured? I don't know. Maybe somebody accidentally stepped on his hand or his neck or something. Whoops, accidents happen. Hey, the commotion wakes up the big rat ogre, and we'll be seeing him return to the pitch because his team needs him. And that guy right there, remember that name because he's important. That rat ogre head splitter, no joke. Look how strong he is. He's big. He is strong. He will mess you up if you're not careful. Ooh, and then all of a sudden I'm looking, I'm like, hey, where are all the Renegades? Thought they believe in bringing extra players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he must have come in with 12 players. And now he's only got 9 left on the field. The Nacaleptics, let's see how many they're fielding with that 1 Tomb Guardian gone. You're looking at 1, 2, let's see, it's 4 there, 6, 8, 10, 11. Even with that Tomb Guardian gone, I could have told, I should have realized that he has that extra player right there too. So he walked in with 13 players on his end. The Renegades came in with 12, and the Renegades are getting the worst of the attrition exchange. Fortunately for them, they have already scored. So for them, it's all about trying to preserve the win, maybe taking a draw right now. However, the attrition situation multiplies and gets worse and exponentially just builds on itself. You could be seeing the tempo change, the Nacaleptics hurrying to score and then take the ball back from the few remaining Renegades that are left at that point. Tomb Guardians trying to do their thing, being very effective, not seeing a lot of removals. And this has been an ongoing theme. These Tomb Guardians not rising to the occasion. And Ram Disease is going to hit coming for you. Breaks the armor that time. But it's just a stun. And here comes Blackfur. Blackfur Deadpaw going to take a shot at Dan Dannerson. That's a big removal. Oh, Dan Danners is gone for the game. Badly hurt. It's going to take a while to heal up the gushing wound, the gushing gaping hole that's coming out of his chest, inflicted by Louis Michaels. Oh, I'm sorry, by Blackfur. By Blackfur Deadpaw. Louis Michaels is the one with the ball. Louis Michaels lots of scores. That makes sense. He is Blitz's leading scorer right now. I think if I remember correctly, got a hat trick in scoring last week and scored 3 times. And there you go, a little stompy stomp by the head-footed zombie, unable to get the job done. So that's slack jaw, his foot wasn't heavy enough. And then, of course, you're going to have the Venom jump up and try to take retaliation, take it at cutting through the armors of Deadeyes. Was unsuccessful. So now they're just going to shore up the forces over here, huddle up and wait for the enemy to try to come. It looks like the Necropolyse Nacaleptics are going to say, all right, well, if you're going to keep letting us do that, then I'll just keep doing this. That's cool. Well, these guys on the ground for me, no problem. I'm going to make wine from their bodies by stomping on them. Like I'm going to stomp on their nuts like grapes and then make wine out of them. There you go. I knew that joke would eventually clean up to be serviceable. And now it looks like they're moving the ball carrier up little by little by little by little. Blackfur is going to sit there on the sidelines. And Renegades better start doing something. Change the momentum here because their forces are quickly dwindling. Every turn they're losing somebody. They are now down to, remember, there's at this point the knockout came back, and that was what was this guy right here, head splitter. He came back, but there's 5 guys on the sideline now, and they came in with only 12 people. So you're looking at 7 guys left on the pitch. One of them still down on the ground, and that's it. Venom finally at least does his job. There's a removal there. Deadeyes Davies is knocked out. Senseless. He's just unable to deal with whatever Venom just threw at him with those nasty, nasty claws. And there you go. The forces are going to line up behind Head Splitter. And coming for you. And coming for you again is going to be the recipient of abuse. As Grand Eternity is going to break that armor and stun him. He's just knocking him senseless at that point. Now the Tomb Guardian's going to move up. I'm sorry, the zombie and the Tomb Guardian are going to move up side by side. That's scary when you got a team that's fielding zombies and Tomb together. There's a cage being formed. Louis Michaels, of course, salivating, just ready to score. He's like, let's get this over with, let's score. And you got to think, if you're Overkill, I mean, there does come a point, remember, you are going to need to, it wasn't enough to just knock him senseless. They're going to try to foul him too. I think Overkill has had so much success with the fouling game that he just figures, why not just keep throwing the dice until the zombie's gone. Now, what I was saying here was, and they're baiting Head Splitter with, that is a zombie over there, pulling him away. That's Slackjaw. I see Dead People is going to get hit. No, Slackjaw is going to get hit, and that's I see Dead People that's over there marking up Head Splitter. You know, if the Nacaleptics wait too long to score, then they'll, you know, they may be really hurting themselves at this point. I mean, they're dominating in numbers at this point, right? They've like they're down. Their opponents are down to 7, and they're not getting any of them back. And if you want to win, you're going to have to score quickly and then give them the ball back and take it away again. And there is always this, if you're the coach that's dominating the numbers the way the Nacaleptics are, and you're almost thinking like, let me see how many more players I can knock loose before I score. And there's a lot of danger to that, because you might, as you get carried away trying to like take players out, maybe you lose one of your own and then you start digging yourself in a hole like a casino, and you're like, oh, well, let me just try one more time and maybe I can, you know, maybe I can even it out and get back to where I was before on the numbers advantage. And then before you know it, it's like 2 turns left and you're like, man, I should have scored 2 turns ago, so I would have had enough time to take the ball away. Instead, now he's just going to be able to like run around the field away from me and make sure I don't take this ball back. And V is good for that. V has a very good awareness of where of how to use the field, like how much room he's got, how to suck somebody in and then make your escape. So getting that ball back from him, even if he's no longer really a great threat to score, could prove to be a pretty tough task if you're under the time predicament. So again, we got nice weather going on, which is the result of it is elf turf. So you can GFI on this turf and be pretty confident you won't hurt yourself as often as you will on other turfs. Push action here.
This is going to be enough to come out on top.
There you go. The Renegades trying to fight back. They're going to take a shot at that wolf. And man, I got to say, Overkill leaves his wolves, or at least that one, kind of just leaves them hanging out there. And, you know, as a target, I don't know if that's on purpose, if that's strategy-minded, or if he's just not protecting them well. But there's a lot of squishy players. No, I mean, well, actually, there's not that many squishy players on that team, so you would think he'd rather be getting hit with on those like Tomb Guardians, or allow them to form that front line and make it hard to mount a hit on them. You'd have to commit a lot of people who then themselves would be marked up if they're using guard to do it. But yeah, so it's coming up on the close of turn 12 here. We only got 4 turns after this, and to me, if you're Overkill, you want to score really fast, unless you're just like not going to chance doing anything but taking the draw. Here's though where, honestly, maybe see, and I haven't been considering this. These are under normal circumstances, but again, this is Blitz, right? So the issue here that I bet Overkill is thinking about too is with, the kind of issue that makes me paranoid when playing teams like this with a natural one-turner like the Renegades have. See, this old rat creep who was saved earlier by the Apo is still there. So yeah, so if Overkill just waits till turn 16 and then punches it in, he's pretty much just going to have to pray that V is unable to have somebody like a Lil Mo Flanders get to the ball and get that ball to old rat creep. So that's why I'm thinking, if I'm Overkill, I probably want the extra, I want to score early as possible or, create some kind of shot on old rat creep so that, I can kind of maybe steal this ball or force him into this uncomfortable position of, maybe not one-turning immediately. Because if you're V and your numbers are dwindled like this, you might want to consider, even if, if this guy scores like this turn upcoming, you might still want to consider not score or doing the one-turn touchdown with the natural one-turner, because anything else is risky enough for the other side to create some problems for you. And it looks like Overkill is going to hold. I think he's holding for that draw there in turn 16. And we were just having this discussion before when Overkill was co-announcing the match between the Timberwolves and the Poachers before. If you get a chance to watch that, that's also on my Twitch or YouTube, depending on which one you end up watching on this, once I upload it to my YouTube. But, Overkill doesn't like to roll a lot of dice. He likes to force the other side to roll dice. But, if you're going to take this passive stance right here and not roll those dice, throw your wolf into the end zone and then, try to, make things happen and cause disruption on the next turn, you're passive. You're letting things happen to you. If you wait too long, you actually never know what can happen here. You might lose a key player or two that allows an opening for them. And you get the Renegades trying to put their turn together here. He hasn't moved in a full minute, so I'm wondering if there's a pause. Yeah, Juicy in the stand saying VpowerV is going ham. Yeah, because the Hamelin Renegades got you. They're losing the attrition battle, though. They're playing well, but, and they scored. But I'll say V didn't protect his ball carrier very well in the first half a lot of times. Overkill forced him to roll a lot of dice in the typical what Overkill prefers to do is force his opponent to throw dice. He did that. V failed enough or didn't get people in place. Just found it generally very difficult to keep that ball protected. Overkill took advantage of it, but V managed to get past him, behind him, and then Overkill just like whatever. Focused on attrition. It did work out for him, but what is going on here? And this is the problem. If your ball carrier does not have sure hands, then stuff like this could happen. And now you went from being in a position where you could have potentially scored or done something to score a couple turns ago. You delayed too often, and now you're just hoping for. Now even the draw itself is not like for certain. You're gonna have to fight to tie the score up, and then at 1-1, VpowerV is still gonna get the last licks with his one-turners. So, yeesh. I play both. I play MML Pros. I have one of the longest, probably now the most consecutive, the oldest consecutively playing active team in the MML Pros right now are the Hopeless Necromantics. Since season 6. Oh my God! Oh man! That is huge! Old Rat Creep, the one-turner we were just talking about, the guy that the Renegades can rely on for that turn 16 score, is now been killed going for the ball. It's almost like Overkill lured him in Overkill nodding to me over from the sidelines. I cautioned him about, you know, the strategies and what could go wrong, and just making the other guy roll the dice, the other guy be proactive, the other guy making things happen. And he's like, this is what I wanted all along, mate. He was going to run in here, and we were going to trip him up and make him break his own neck. And that's exactly what happened. Old Rat Creep has just been recruited by the Nacaleptics right here before your very eyes. If you are missing this, you are wrong. This is MML Blitz. This is excitement. Whoa! That got me up off my feet. I gotta tell you, that was crazy. What looked like you know, a bright chance of winning the whole thing for VpowerV just got flipped on its head. And I hate to reinforce this because this seems like so simple. Blood Bowl is break the other team until they're no longer standing and then do what you want. It does not always work out. It often does not. But when it does, it works well. Man. And Black for Deadpaw, Galvanized, breaks through the armor of Leak Venom. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Funeral next on Twitch. And trying to dodge in and grab the ball. He went out like a trooper, man. But, wow. Wow. So now I can see over. See, this is the thing, though. You know, this is really conservative play, but I know a lot of coaches are going to hate this. This is going to irritate them, that you have a team that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 players there, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have, actually, it's just that one dude over there that got removed in the beginning. Now you got a full team of 11 out there. Definitely got a full team of 11 against the team that now came in with 12 and he's missing 6. That team is 6 against 11. You almost double the players, and you're going to walk out of here with a draw. And and here's the thing. I've been there. I've been that guy that was up by a lot more players, and you know, and realistically, like, I had that plan where I'm like, I'm just hold out. I've talked about it earlier a few turns back here in this game. If you hold out too long, you're like, I'm going to just take one more hit, one more hit, one more hit. And look at this, man. This is the Hamelin Renegades saying, we don't care. We are not going to stop. We will not be intimidated. We're going to knock that ball loose again. And that's exactly what they do. They knock it loose again, and that ball's on the floor, and the score is not guaranteed, despite the fact that they are overwhelmed in numbers. Right now, these are the Spartans at Thermopylae. This is a big stand against overwhelming odds. Still, little Mo Flanders showing why he's the captain, leading by example, picking the ball up. Little Mo cannot be stopped. And now I'm looking back down at Overkill on the sidelines, who's ready to break his clipboard over his knee, who is seeing what also happens when a conservative coach who's just going to let the other guy keep rolling the dice and taking, wow, and taking the time to, you know, make these crazy plays, rolls the dice, and now Overkill is smiling at me again, saying, I let him roll the dice, and look what happened. The ball literally fell right into my hands. Black for Deadpaw about to get a TD and then be one TD away from leveling up and maybe becoming proficient in block. Wow. Wow, it was looking so good for Mo Flanders. And, ooh. Boom shakalaka. Eddie Ra smacks the poor captain down. Man, he did so well, but he just had too many people in his face and ended up fumbling the ball instead of throwing it downfield away from the touchdown. Still, excellent, excellent, excellent coaching from VpowerV and from Overkill. this has been a display. I felt like Overkill just overmatched him. Oh, wow. Weird Green Al has been injured. Fractured skull. He's going to lose a point in armor value. We are watching the reigning Blitz champs go down in flames as that graveyard over there continues to grow. And Overkill continues to feel like a genius as he keeps looking over at me knowingly and even in a smug way, I would say. There goes Head Splitter. Doesn't join the graveyard, but he's going to sleep like a dead rat over there, dreaming about whatever nice things about all kinds of different wheels of cheeses, Gouda and the most excellent Skaven rat cheeses, just trying to ignore the nightmare that is this game, that the Nacaleptics are raining down on them. Boom! Score! The game is tied up by Black for Deadpaw. Do not count the Renegades out of it yet, because VpowerV is one of the best coaches in Blood Bowl. Again, had a shaky first half. I got to give it to Overkill. I felt like Overkill outcoached him in the first half, but despite the losing effort here so far, or not losing effort, but despite the failed ability to keep them out of the end zone, the Nacaleptics out of the end zone, the coaching was how you managed to still do what he did with 6 players versus 11 back then, and now we're down to 4. Is that 4 players left? Yeah, it's just super impressive. And again, Head Splitter not getting up. He's like, nah, I don't want none of that smoke. He don't want none of that smoke. But yeah, it's turn. He's going to give V 2 chances to score, and the Nacaleptics are. See, I don't get the point of scoring on turn 15 at that point, because you're not scoring unless you get a blitz and you got all your guys back. So why even do it? I guess he was just tired of V just doing everything he did. Now, Zerpos, you said you missed the death. You know what? I said this at the beginning. Ask and you shall receive. I am not married to staying with exactly live action. That is what this is for, and we are going to back it up and see that death again, because that was just too damn amazing. And then we'll just either fast forward it or catch up all the action again, because it's going to move fast. There goes the dodge, and it was that nasty swipe right here from Brett Sands, the mummy that recruited. He was like, come to our team. Old rat creep there, reborn as a zombie. That is crazy. Crazy. That's him right there. Brett Sands, who then the following turn made that block. They're probably setting up for kickoff right now. Yeah, no problem. So I'm just going to let it again fast forward to this part so we can kind of re-examine the replay of the stuff, what went on. And because again, look, if you're the Nacaleptics and you're saying, nah, I'm just going to hold out for the draw, that's fine. Then do that. Score turn 16. I mean, you got the dominant numbers. I know he's scared. I guess he just got shook, man. Like, he's like, I cannot stop V from continuing to knock this ball loose, so I'm just going to score. The problem is that you decided to score on the worst turn for it, because not only did you give him, so you've knocked out his one-turner is gone, and his natural one-turner, and you could probably stop him from one-turning at this point. It's going to be very difficult for him, right? But then you give him 2 turns to score back, and then you don't even, it's like, I could see if you score on turn 14 because you give him a chance to score, but if you could take the ball away just as easily because you've got overwhelming numbers and then run down the field and score yourself. But if you're going to give him the ball, you got 1 turn to make it downfield and you're on defense. You just gave him 2 turns to score, and then you line up all your guys back. That doesn't make any sense to me. You might as well at that point have guarded everybody up and tried to just hold on for dear life and hoping he doesn't get it done. And so that was where we saw again, just the constant. This guy Word Green Al has just been amazing. Just continuing to knock the ball loose. Little Mo Flanders doing his thing. That's where he choked. And maybe you got to think. You see the way that that Lewis Michaels kind of came over. He jumped up and he possibly caused that fumble because he jumped on the shoulders of this guy right here, of this white right here, the grinder, and he was going up to swipe that ball down, and I think that's what intimidated Little Mo and made him drop the ball. Yeah, Little Mo is incredible, sick. So, and then they, of course, they went and made Word Green Al pay for it. Gone, injured, carnage, and that was just what an incredible game he had. And now he's just going to be super easy to remove from games in the future. That might be the end of his career, or of his season, rather. Here in Blitz, they have skilled doctors. If a player suffers a grievous injury, as long as they're not dead, they can. Doctors can pretty much heal them. It might take even more than one season, but they could get it done. So it's not as risky as MML Pros, where oftentimes you see a rat suffer a armor down injury. See, this is what I don't understand. Like, it felt to me like Word Grinnell, who was the biggest threat, was eliminated. He was injured. Old Rat Creep injured. Little Mo was stunned. I wouldn't have scored there. That was the one turn where I would have just said, nah. I have to admit that the time for scoring early, trying to get the ball back and scoring again, is gone. So, and again, I would disclaimer: I've done shit like that. The reason I wouldn't do it now is because I've made that mistake in the past. So I'm just pointing out. Yeah, Zerples, that's the only thing I can think of, is that he's like, well, maybe they'll get a blitz, and I'll get to the ball and then run downfield on him. Yeah. Or maybe he gets a riot and the time gets extended, so they get an extra turn, and then he's thinking of run downfield. So I guess there's a couple of instances where he could do that. But I'd say the greater risk at this point, believe it or not, is probably going to be these guys scoring. Lil Mo's going to be the one throwing it. Whoa. Oh. Whoa. This is... Who's going to handle the... Okay. Wait. All right, that's risky. So I guess he's saying... I guess the strategy is there. If he manages to kick it deep... Oh! Wait, right. Both teams lose a turn. So that's it. So... Yeah, so that's going to be... Actually, I would have said that may potentially be a blessing for VpowerV, but it's not, because there's no way, again, Overkill would have been able to score in turn 16. There you go. What's up, Overkill? And then, so the reason we're a little behind is because people asked for a replay of the death of Old Rat Creep, so I backed it up. And there you go. Trying to get some extra SPP for the pickup, and possibly making a throw. And Nuffle says, go fork yourself. Coming for you is going to leave with his head down, dejected. But neither of these coaches should have their head down. They coached a great game. Overkill especially, man. You came in here, and I got to say that, you took it. You took it to a renowned, great coach, the reigning champion, and you didn't just get lucky on dice. You actually solidly coached against him. I mean, the armor breaks definitely helped, but in that first half, you really had him on his back feet. He had to really adjust for you, and then this became an epic coaching battle. Yeah, the dice ended up in your favor, but you both did some really brilliant things in the second half, and you in particular kind of really stood out to me in the first half as the better coaching performance, which is a lot to say for a guy who is, you're definitely known as an up-and-comer. You're a coach that people respect, but relative to VpowerV, you're still young in the game, and you just took it to a very respected and well-established coach. And maybe this is Overkill's notifying the Blood Bowl world. I am here. Respect me. Watch out. I'm coming for you, just like one of his players. Necropolyse, Nacaleptics, 17 armor breaks to the 10 right there. And yeah, 45 blocks, 29. So these armor breaks kind of make sense. And they're kind of what you would expect. I would say Leak Venom. this has been an ongoing theme for the Storm Vermin from our chaotic teams. Leak Venom failed to come through for the team, like Creech Wildslayer for me failed to come through in week 1, and we recently saw the other chaotic player pack team I recently watched. It escapes me now. It might have been even maybe not even chaotic player pack. It may have been the Far East. It might have been Bernie's team, the Timberwolves. I think they had a Storm Vermin. They kept coming up short, or like their Claw Mighty Below Chorfs that kept coming up short. And when those guys don't do their job, it definitely it can snowball, especially if you're not set up to deal with doing things you need to do. Now, in V's favor, though, he didn't stick with the kill plan. Once the kill plan was failing, he definitely got agile. He did the things he needed to do. He's using a strip baller effectively, and he got Elfie, and I really like that. But now, actually, I gotta wrap this up, brother. I gotta get this thing in for work. But this was great. So thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good one. And yeah, enjoy MML Blitz. If you want to join Blitz, if you're interested in Blitz, want to know more about Blitz, blitz.mmlpro.com. And I'm out. See y'all later.